Hello, my brothers and sisters on the Dragon's Path. My name is Tim Hey and I believe in dragons. And I would like to share with you everything that I had on the Dragon's Path, everything that I experienced, and everything that I believe, everything that I feel. So I would like to share it with you, not because it's 100% the truth, not because I say something that it's 100% legit, that you have to follow it. Of course not. But it's my vision. It's something that I feel, and in this case, how I feel, what the dragon gods are, and what not only what the dragon gods are, but the origin of the dragon gods, and actually the origin of the gates themselves. Because everything has to do with the dragon, my entire spirituality, my entire beliefs, whatever I feel, is all based on the dragon. Nothing is mixed with my path. I don't mix anything with my path. I only look to the dragon, to look to my dragon eye, and to my feelings and instincts. And this is what I would like to share with you. What my instincts say, and what also my experiences say of the dragon gods and the gates. It's actually a bit like the beginning, like in the Bible, but don't see it as something biblical, because this is 100% entirely based on my experiences and what I've read in books, but also in my experiences on the Dragon's Path. So in the beginning, our realm, there was one realm, one giant dimension. But this dimension was chaotic. No life was possible. Like all the energies were going intertwined, going together, going everywhere. There was This was not the same place as we know it now. This is the place, not even the space between spaces. It was gigantic and it was endless, and every energy was going upside down in each other and everywhere. Life was not possible because there were no elements, there were no dragons, and there were no spirits. It was only a wasteland of nothing, and yet everything at the same time. There was a giant energy that was forming itself into this wasteland of energies of everything, of of darkness as well, especially darkness. And so this there was an energy was growing inside of the darkness that was building up until it exploded, and a giant explosion. Sometimes people call this the Big Bang, or it's even much more than this, a Big Bang. And a lot of things came out of this Big Bang. And one of those things that also comes from creation story from one of the dragon gods, that I actually base myself and my feelings upon this, that out of this great bang there were several of these egg-like figures, like stones, you might say, egg-shaped, um, and that they were coming out of it, out of this great explosion. And so on this empty planet, there were several that landed, several that just were on this wasteland, this rock, you might say, one of the rocks in in these spaces, one of the in this, yeah, it's difficult to explain. Actually, in my visions I see this place as a dark place where everything goes intertwined, where is no order, but there shouldn't be no order, but in this case there was nothing. Nothing was possible to do, nothing was possible to create. And out of this explosion there was an energy that wanted to do something else. This is more like the story of Pangu. And in beginning, yeah, like I said, our realm was chaos and energies that didn't find their way through the order, with open gates and heaven and hell together. So all of these together. From this great explosion in the universe, an egg was created from the chaos. The egg crashed into the empty planet that we now call the Earth. The egg broke and the dragon was born. A dragon that, actually, you might even say, the first dragons. were born upon this world and also upon the other places of the universe. Wherever a dragon is born, another element was born. And so in this case of Pangu, Pangu looked up and saw all of this chaos, saw all of this heaven and hell together, but much more realms than that coming together. This was a tiny dragon, but with such enormous power. He didn't agree with everything he saw, so he wanted to change things. He wanted to change this chaotic realm, and he wanted to have this order around the realms. He, but also the other ones. The other ones that also, that I believe are there. Because there are actually no origin stories of the dragon gods except for Pangu. And I feel somewhere they share the same origin. That they were born as an element, as the embodiment of the elements that we know now on the earth. And yet there are so many other elements, but maybe not on the same place of the universe. That the explosion brought them somewhere else. So it can be that there is another planet with dragon spirits and dragon gods. So Pangu, and I believe also the other dragon gods, like I said, you don't need to believe this, it's just my vision. And the other dragon gods and Pangu himself, they created some kind of order inside of this heaven and hell together, of this chaos where life was no possible. They themselves could create life just by being there, just by having their presence there. And there were even several dragon gods here. So for every element, there was one dragon god. At least, to say. So they actually kind of work together in a way, because I believe that they had struggles of working together, because like I said, like they say, heaven, water and fire and earth and wind, it's difficult to work together, yet they found a way. The dragon gods found a way to create to create actually the order. And the order, my brothers and sisters, was the gates, because they had to shape all of these universes, to shape them all of them together. And so in these universes, they were all shaped and all bound into one bubble, you might say. And so they all did it. It was not the dragons from this earth, but also the other dragons as well, from the other, from every dragon that has come out of this giant energy. The four dragon elements, I mean the dragon gods here on earth, they work together to create nature itself as we know it now. And so the energy was also created to let life be possible, but life in a way that also was new for them. So they weren't actually prepared for what is going to come from this life. You have to remember, humanity was not the first born, and it's like in all of these religions, humanity was not the most important one. And actually, it was their children who was the first. And I also very much believe in this and feel this, that their children, their offspring, were the ones that created also the life here further. And so they were actually the face of life itself. The further it came, dinosaurs came, and so life was created on this earth, but also where the other dragon gods are. I actually have no idea how many dragon gods there are. There must be so many. Yet they work together to create the gates. And every gate is guarded. Every gate is protected. So the gates need to have, you need to have permission from one certain dragon god that I met several times, and that was Leviathan. And that it makes me actually believe at some point, I'm not sure, that this great energy, where they are born out of it, might be Leviathan's energy. Leviathan has always been there. I mean, on the other place where heaven and hell met together, this giant chaotic realm that this was. Um, this chaos realm, it might be that he was the one that created this order, and he also was the one who also is in front of every gate. So if you want to go through the gate, then you have to have permission from Leviathan. And I feel somewhere where he has this authority to have this to stand before all of these gates, that I believe that he was the one also that created these gates, and so also guarding this place. Yeah, and so the creation story of Pangu, this is very much based on this, of the dragon, or very much worshipped in Japan. Was also said that it was the dragon of the earth and the sky at the same time. He saw the chaos and was and tried to make with all of his strength to restore the chaos in these universes. And he created the mountains, but also later the seas, the rivers with his own blood, the sky, and even the fires. When he had to lay down because he was too tired, his body sunk into the earth. All that grows now is his life force that we now see today. His egg had the shape of a yin yang, not this black and white like we see it now, but in a way that we should say it's dark and light. This egg had the dark and light energy, but also wears the symbol of dark and light. We might see it now as black and white, but it was actually something much more intense to look at. So these eggs of the dragons, you might say, eggs of the dragon gods, and the origins that they are is not really explained. I try to dig into the origins of the dragon gods, to what I feel about them and about the dragon gates, and every realm that they protect, and especially the realm where we live in now, until the realm where the dragon lives in. These are the realms that I like to explore. The dragon is a spirit that goes freely and to explore and to travel from one gate to another. Why is that? Because they have authority, because they are descendants of the ones that created the gates in the first place. So dragon gods, creators of life, but also creators of the universe and creators of the gates, creators of order inside of chaos, because they are chaos, they know what it is, and they can create a path into it. That is also what we need to do to create our path into the chaos that we are given to us. Chaos is a gift, and yet out of this chaos we have to create our own order. Don't see it like some kind of a fantasy tale. I really, really feel these energies. I actually never asked to feel something like this, but it came naturally. And all of these ideas, these visions, these sightings, whatever the dragon is saying to me, it just comes along with the story that I just told you. This place was not really in the beginning. There was not even time was the same, so I cannot even say it was in the old times. It was in a time, but I don't know in which time. It was in one of these times, but I cannot say if it's in the past or in the future, where the dragon gods are born. Yet they found a way to this place and to this time to find you, because they found you, especially the dragon guardians. But I cannot say it was back in the day, all times. I cannot say this. But I can say something else. Wherever the dragon god was born, a sky lit up, a sky was born as well. A life was born. And especially a great life was born. So yeah, I have to say that dragons, it's not for nothing that I call them dragon god. I should call them even just god, but with dragon god you know what I mean. It's a dragon, not the face of a human, and it's not anything to do with all of these religions. It's just my feeling of what I feel of what is the origin of the dragon and the dragon gods as well. I mean, this case, it's only about the dragon god and the gates that they guard. Of course, I'm not saying this because it's in my Book of Dragon Shadows. I read this from my Book of Dragon Shadows because of dreams and visions and ideas and experiences and all of them together, even mythology of Pangu and all of the creation story that there was. I'm just combining them. I'm just combining everything, and I read it. Wrote it down in my Book of Dragon Shadows, and I wanted to share this with you. I don't know what your ideas. I don't know what you feel. You might feel something completely different, but it can't hurt, of course, if I share you the story maybe of the eggs of the birth of the dragon gods. Anyway, into my vision. My brothers and sisters, be blessed.